Hello, and welcome to my fellow adult services librarians. Today I'll be presenting you with the information behaviors of older adults. We will look at the challenges older adults encounter in their pursuit of meeting their information needs and explore some possible solutions. To clarify, this age group we are focusing on is adults aged 60 years or older. As people age, their information needs change, especially those pertaining to health and wellness. Most manners of search, communication, and organization are now integrated with digital technology. There are many older adults who feel empowered by the amount of information they can find in an online search. Unfortunately, many of their peers find themselves at odds with the mechanisms of the digital world. The abundance of available information can be overwhelming, exacerbated by lack of confidence in their digital skills and difficulty evaluating credibility of the material. This hesitation can have consequences to their health and prevent them from getting necessary care. The U.S. Department of Agriculture recorded a low participation rate in the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, or SNAP, of qualified older adults. When the discrepancy was investigated, many of the older adults reported that the process was frustrating. The website was difficult to navigate, required forms were confusing, and they were concerned about sharing personal information online. This distrust of sharing personal details is not an unfounded fear. Fraud schemes like phishing emails, sweepstakes scams, financial scams specifically target older adults online and rack up billions of dollars of loss annually. According to the FBI, the 60-year-old plus age group has the most occurrences of being scammed online than every other age group in their data. The ubiquity of these phishing attacks among older adults shows us their heightened vulnerability in online spaces. Digital literacy skills are often a subject of school curriculum, but only in the past 20 years or so. Younger generations have had the benefit of learning these skills at a pace with technological integration, which left the older generations in a position of being information outsiders. The fear of negative consequences is rooted in the very possible physical repercussions that come with taking unsafe health advice or the financial fallout of trusting a fraudulent link, and can make some older adults avoid using online platforms and searches completely. These self-protective behaviors are logical responses to the hindrances and dangers in their information worlds. To look at possible solutions to the barriers older adults experience in their information seeking, we can consider the structure of Brenda Dervin's sense-making model. Putting the user in the situation where they have a need for information, likely a health concern, but applicable to any search, they open their browser. The desired outcome could be successfully signing up for SNAP benefits, sending an email to their doctor's office via their patient portal, or finding an at-home remedy. Between the situation and the outcome sits the gap. The gap is the complicated online paperwork, disconcerting web pages, and active phishing or fraud attempts. These are the sources of skepticism, anxiety, and frustration encountered by the user, preventing them from reaching their outcome. The solutions to overcoming them are the bridge that can carry the user from this situation to their desired outcome. So what can be done to build that bridge? One pathway to consider is digital health literacy interventions. E-health literacy is a term used to describe an individual's ability to search for, analyze, understand, and evaluate health information on the internet or in other digital sources to make informed health-related decisions. An older adult who is not confident in their own digital skills or their abilities to communicate and decipher health information likely has lower e-health literacy. Digital health literacy interventions are educational programs that focus on computer basics, mainstream search engine use, operating official patient portals, and peer support forums. Older adults who have participated in these interventions, which usually take 3 to 4 weeks to complete, showed an increased e-health literacy and reported secondary effects of increased computer knowledge and self-efficacy. Face-to-face interventions have the advantage for each learner to receive more personalized attention and allow for adjustments to be made according to physical or psychological changes they may experience during the program. Web-based interventions are more flexible to time and space limitations, which can allow for a learner to maneuver the course more independently, practicing modules they don't feel proficient in or repeat them if necessary. Both formats had positive results, but in-person classes did report slightly higher rates of e-health literacy in comparison to the online course. Offering the intervention, both in-person and online formats, is important because it allows for the intervention to be introduced according to the circumstances of the learner. Depending on their access to computers, experience with independent learning, or time constraints, one model of intervention might be a better fit than the other. A similar type of program could be effective for teaching older adults the skills to navigate false information online. In a 2022 study, 143 older adults were tested on their ability to identify misinformation online before and after participating in an hour-long online course. The course specifically taught digital media literacy techniques like lateral reading, click restraint, reverse image searching, and researching headlines to make veracity judgments. Before and after taking the course, the subjects were asked to assess a series of news headlines. After taking the course, subjects were able to accurately judge the veracity of the news headlines at a significantly higher rate. The average rate of accurate judgment rose from 52% before taking the course to 88% after the course was completed. This course was only hosted virtually, but seeing how in-person teaching was successful in the digital health literacy interventions, the course may have an even greater impact if offered in both formats. Creating training programs like the e-health literacy initiative and the digital skills course directly address the challenges older adults face in their information-seeking journey. These are the tools to build the bridge to make their digital engagement more reliable. Research on older adults' information behavior is still relatively new, but it's my hope that it continues to look for ways to create a safer information experience. Why is this so important to address right now? Older adults are rapidly growing as a demographic group in the United States. In 2022, they were reported as making up 17% of the overall population. They are projected to reach 23% of the population in the next 25 years. Older adults are not new information users. They have been active participants in creating, sharing, and utilizing information for long before the world began relying on digital services and systems. If we can understand their motivations, goals, and struggles, we can design assistance that meets them where they need in a dignified and tangible way.